Imagine a world where Earth's continents aren't just drifting apart, but coming together, merging into supercontinents again and again over billions of years. We all know Pangaea, that massive landmass from millions of years ago. But what if I told you that Pangaea was just one chapter in an ancient and mysterious saga of even older supercontinents stretching back into Earth's hidden past? Before Pangaea, there were other supercontinents, each with its own unique landscape, climate, and life forms, and each one met a dramatic end. Today, we'll dive into the story of Earth's forgotten giants, the supercontinents that came before Pangaea. Welcome to Infinitia Verity, where we reveal hidden truths, dive into intriguing mysteries, and explore the stories that shape our world. If you're ready to journey back millions, even billions of years, to uncover Earth's forgotten continents, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let's get started. To understand Earth's forgotten continents, we need to start with a basic question. What even is a supercontinent? A supercontinent is a massive landmass composed of multiple continents that have collided and fused together over millions of years. Over Earth's long history, continents have come together and split apart in cycles. We call these the supercontinent cycles. Here's an interesting fact. Each supercontinent cycle lasts about 300 to 500 million years. That's longer than the age of dinosaurs. Right now, we're somewhere in the middle of a new supercontinent cycle, which means in millions of years, another supercontinent will form. The first supercontinent we know of is called estimated to have formed nearly 3 billion years ago. This was followed by Kenorland, Columbia, Rodinia, and Pannotia, all of which existed before Pangaea. And here's a fun fact. Scientists believe that these supercontinents were different from Pangaea in size, structure, and even the types of life that inhabited them. But why does Earth go through these massive shifts? It's all due to plate tectonics, the constant movement of Earth's outer shell, known as the lithosphere. This movement is powered by the intense heat and pressure from Earth's molten core, which causes the plates to slowly drift over millions of years. Picture Earth like a jigsaw puzzle in motion. The pieces fit together differently over time, creating and breaking apart supercontinents as they move. Interesting fact, the next supercontinent, which scientists have nicknamed Pangaea Proxima, is predicted to form in roughly 200 to 300 million years. It could result in drastic climate changes and possibly reshape the planet's ecosystems once again. Interesting fact, supercontinents affect not just the land but the oceans too. When a supercontinent forms, it creates vast inland seas and alters ocean currents, which have huge impacts on global climate and biodiversity. The story begins nearly 3 billion years ago with the formation of considered by many geologists to be Earth's first supercontinent. Now, this wasn't a supercontinent like Pangaea. It was smaller and surrounded by vast oceans. But was significant because it marked a major turning point in Earth's history. Interesting fact. During the time of Earth's atmosphere had almost no oxygen. Instead, it was filled with gases like methane and carbon dioxide, which created a greenhouse effect, making the planet warmer than it is today. So what kind of life could survive in such an extreme environment? This was the era of single-celled organisms, particularly cyanobacteria, which thrived in the warm oceans around Cyanobacteria are crucial to the story of life because they were the first organisms to perform photosynthesis, a process that produces oxygen as a byproduct. As cyanobacteria flourished, they slowly began releasing oxygen into the atmosphere. This led to one of Earth's first environmental crises, known as the Great Oxygenation Event. Imagine a world where oxygen is suddenly toxic to most life forms. As oxygen levels rose, many of the primitive organisms couldn't survive and went extinct. But for other forms of life, oxygen became a key to survival and growth, setting the stage for the evolution of more complex organisms. Interesting fact, cyanobacteria are still around today, and they're actually responsible for creating stromatolites, layered rock formations found in shallow water. These ancient rock structures can still be seen in places like Australia and are considered some of the oldest evidence of life on Earth. May not have been the grandest of supercontinents, but it paved the way for life as we know it, with cyanobacteria slowly transforming Earth's atmosphere over hundreds of millions of years. As drifted and eventually broke apart, It set the stage for the formation of even larger supercontinents. Following Earth's tectonic plates continued to shift, and around 2.7 billion years ago, a new supercontinent began to take shape, Kenorland. Kenorland was larger than and marked by diverse environments including vast mountains and deep ocean basins. During the time of Kenorland, Earth experienced its first major ice age called the Huronian Glaciation. Scientists believe this ice age was one of the most severe in Earth's history, with glaciers extending down to near the equator. Interesting fact, the Huronian Glaciation was likely triggered by the Great Oxygenation Event. As cyanobacteria released more oxygen, it reacted with methane in the atmosphere, a powerful greenhouse gas. This caused a dramatic drop in temperatures, leading to global cooling and massive ice sheets. Kenorland's climate changes had profound effects on the evolution of life. Organisms adapted to survive in extreme conditions, and some scientists believe that these challenges helped spur biological innovations that would later lead to more complex life forms. One mystery of Kenorland is that we still don't know exactly what it looked like. Geologists have pieced together some parts of it, but due to tectonic activity and erosion over billions of years, much of Kenorland's original landmass has disappeared. Interesting fact. Some modern continents, like North America and parts of Africa, contain ancient rocks that were once part of Kenorland. So, in a way, this supercontinent still lives on in the stones beneath our feet. As Kenorland eventually broke apart, it left a legacy of extreme environments and climate challenges, setting the stage for the next chapter in Earth's supercontinent story. Fast forward a billion years to around 1.8 billion years ago, when a new supercontinent called Columbia emerged. Columbia is often considered Earth's first true supercontinent because it connected landmasses from all across the globe. Columbia was massive, stretching from what is now North America to Australia and beyond. With Columbia's formation, Earth entered a period of relative geological stability, which allowed for significant geological and biological developments. Interesting fact number 1. Columbia's vastness contributed to an increased spread of volcanic activity along its edges. These volcanoes pumped nutrients into the surrounding waters, which fueled the growth of simple single-celled organisms in the oceans. This abundance of nutrients would be crucial for future life on Earth. This was also the era of the Proterozoic Eon, a time when more complex cells known as eukaryotes began to emerge. These cells would eventually lead to the development of multicellular organisms, including plants, animals, and fungi. One theory suggests that Columbia's large size led to extreme weather patterns. On such a vast continent, much of the interior would have been isolated from oceans, creating large deserts and dry regions. Interesting fact number 2. Some geologists theorize that Columbia's breakup played a role in the evolution of complex life. As Columbia split apart, new coastlines and shallow seas were created, providing diverse habitats that encouraged evolutionary experimentation and diversity. Approximately 1.3 billion years ago, the pieces of Columbia began to come together again, forming the next supercontinent, Rodinia. Rodinia is especially intriguing because scientists believe it may have been the birthplace of multicellular life, the ancestors of animals and plants as we know them. Rodinia's formation is thought to have drastically changed Earth's climate, possibly leading to another ice age known as Snowball Earth. Imagine the entire planet covered in ice from pole to pole. This extreme freeze might sound like the end of life, but it's actually believed to have set the stage for a massive evolutionary leap. Interesting fact number 1. One hypothesis suggests that the Snowball Earth conditions forced organisms to adapt in new ways, leading to the development of multicellular life. These adaptations eventually gave rise to more complex organisms, including the earliest animals. The breakup of Rodinia triggered geological and biological transformations that shaped the future of life on Earth. As Rodinia fractured, the new coastlines it created brought nutrient-rich waters to the shores, fostering an explosion of life in the oceans. This separation of landmasses increased biodiversity, allowing different life forms to evolve independently in isolated ecosystems. Another fascinating consequence of Rodinia's breakup was the formation of shallow seas. These environments, warm and rich in minerals, served as ideal conditions for the earliest complex life to develop. Some scientists believe that the ancestors of all modern animals, creatures like sponges and jellyfish, emerged in these shallow seas. Imagine strange, alien-looking organisms drifting through clear, shallow waters, experiencing the world in ways that would later influence all life forms, including us. Interesting fact number 2. Evidence of Rodinia's impact on evolution can be seen in what's called the Ediacaran biota, fossils of some of Earth's earliest multicellular organisms dating back over 600 million years. These fossils are some of the oldest evidence of complex life and are often found in rocks that once belonged to Rodinia. As Rodinia drifted apart, it set off a chain of events that would define the evolution of life on Earth. The climate, the oceans, and life itself were never the same again. Rodinia's legacy lives on, not only in fossils, but also in the biodiversity that exploded after its breakup. Following Rodinia's breakup, Earth was once again in a period of tectonic flux. Roughly 600 million years ago, a new supercontinent, Pannotia, emerged. But unlike the other supercontinents, Pannotia was short-lived, lasting only about 60 million years, a brief moment in geological time. Though it wasn't around long, Pannotia's formation and breakup played a critical role in Earth's evolutionary history. Pannotia's climate was relatively warm, and its seas teemed with an array of strange early life forms. This period saw the rise of an incredible diversity of marine life, including bizarre creatures that looked like something out of a sci-fi movie. With the breakup of Pannotia, shallow seas expanded, setting the stage for the Cambrian explosion, an event that saw a rapid increase in the complexity and diversity of life, particularly in marine environments. Interesting fact number 1. The Cambrian explosion, which followed Pannotia's breakup, introduced most of the major animal groups we know today. Some species developed hard shells or exoskeletons for the first time, leaving behind fossil records that scientists still study to this day. Pannotia's impact was profound because it marked the transition from simple life forms to complex ecosystems. In breaking apart, Pannotia created a new diversity of environments such as coral reefs and marine shelves, where organisms could evolve specialized adaptations. Interesting fact number 2. Some modern continents, including parts of Africa and South America, contain rocks that were once part of Pannotia. These ancient rocks hold clues about the conditions of Earth during the dawn of complex life. Pannotia may have been brief, but it set the stage for one of the most significant events in evolutionary history, paving the way for a thriving, complex biosphere. Now, we arrive at Pangaea, the most famous supercontinent, which formed roughly 335 million years ago and remained intact for over 150 million years. Unlike the earlier supercontinents, Pangaea is well known because it was home to many iconic life forms, including the dinosaurs. Pangaea covered nearly a third of Earth's surface and contained almost all the land on the planet, forming a massive horseshoe-shaped continent. Pangaea had a distinct climate characterized by vast deserts in its interior and lush tropical rainforests along its coasts. This diverse environment allowed various species to flourish. Pangaea's sheer size created a unique climate where animals had to adapt to extreme conditions, ranging from hot, arid deserts to dense, humid jungles. Interesting fact number 1. Some scientists believe that Pangaea's size led to the development of megafauna, or extremely large animals, as seen with dinosaurs. The large, connected landmass allowed these animals to spread out, evolving into some of the biggest land creatures to ever walk the Earth. Pangaea also contributed to the diversity of dinosaurs, creating a world where species could migrate across vast distances. This is why fossils of similar dinosaur species are found in continents like Africa, North America, and Asia. They all lived on Pangaea before the landmass began to split apart. The breakup of Pangaea started around 175 million years ago, eventually giving rise to the continents we recognize today. This gradual separation led to the creation of unique ecosystems on each new continent, allowing animals to evolve independently, which ultimately contributed to the planet's incredible biodiversity. Interesting fact number 2. The Atlantic Ocean was born as a result of Pangaea's breakup. As the land masses drifted apart, they created a gap that filled with water, forming the ocean we know today. Pangaea's influence remains evident, not only in the world's diverse species, but also in the shape of our continents. When you look at a world map, the pieces of Pangaea still fit together like a giant puzzle, reminding us of the interconnectedness of all life on Earth. As we look to the future, Earth's tectonic plates are still moving, and scientists predict that another supercontinent, often called Pangaea Proxima, will form within the next 200 to 300 million years. This new supercontinent may look vastly different from anything that came before, reshaping oceans, climates, and ecosystems. Some scientists believe Pangaea Proxima will form around the equator, potentially merging North America and Asia while pushing the other continents toward a massive central landmass. This new supercontinent would drastically alter the climate, with huge deserts likely forming in the interior and lush rainforests around the coasts. Interesting fact number 1. Supercontinent cycles have profound effects on life and climate. For instance, Pangaea Proxima could cause a drop in sea levels, expose large land areas, and alter weather patterns, potentially making parts of the planet nearly uninhabitable for certain species. Interestingly, humans are living in a time between supercontinents, and we may be seeing the early stages of this transition. For example, the African Rift Valley is slowly splitting East Africa from the rest of the continent, hinting at the tectonic shifts that will eventually lead to the creation of Pangaea Proxima. Interesting fact number 2. Scientists have even speculated that if humans are still around when Pangaea Proxima forms, we could witness a new era of biodiversity and potentially new species evolving to adapt to these extreme environments. While we won't be here to witness it, the formation of a new supercontinent reminds us that Earth is always changing. The continents may appear stable to us, but they are, in fact, part of an endless cycle of creation and destruction, a process that has shaped life on our planet for billions of years. So what does the history of supercontinents teach us? Each supercontinent from Ur to Pangaea left a lasting impact on Earth's climate, geography, and life. The cycles of land coming together and breaking apart have been instrumental in shaping the world we live in. It's a reminder of how dynamic our planet truly is, and how deeply interconnected the story of life is with the shifting continents beneath us. Throughout Earth's long history, the formation and breakup of supercontinents have sparked ice ages, fueled evolutionary leaps, and created entirely new ecosystems. Today's continents carry fragments of those ancient landmasses, holding records of a time when Earth looked and functioned very differently. In a few 100 million years, a new supercontinent will rise, reshaping the face of the Earth once more. It's a cycle that has repeated since the beginning, and it will continue long after we're gone. The continents may drift, but they will always find their way back to each other, forging new connections and giving birth to new worlds. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Earth's hidden past. If you enjoyed learning about the ancient supercontinents and want to uncover more mysteries of our planet, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Stay tuned to Infinitia Verity, where we dive deep into the unknown, one story at a time. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and remember, the past is always closer than we think.